Hi, I'm Jack Patterson and welcome to Season 4, Episode 6 of The Current. Today we will be joining Kira Reyna for an interview with UNCW's Dr. Mike Turner, and we'll be discussing his role as a leader in the Peace Corps prep program here on campus. Kira?
Thanks, Jack. Hi, my name is Kira Reyna, and today we are joined with Dr. Turner, who is a linguistics professor at UNCW and a returned volunteer of the Peace Corps. Dr. Turner, lovely to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
So first off, what is the Peace Corps?
The Peace Corps is a federal agency of the United States government. It sends American citizens on 2-year volunteer assignments to countries around the world that have asked to be partners in these development endeavors that the Peace Corps does. So when you join the Peace Corps as an American citizen, you are committed to this 24 months of service as well as 3 months of training beforehand. You might go to any number of countries really in almost any continent except Antarctica, of course. And
Of course.
well, it makes some, but they're working on it, I'm sure. In any case, you go and you do your 3 months of training. You get assigned to a site, which is a place where you live for those 2 years. So you're there the whole time. Often there is no other American, at least with the Peace Corps, in your city or your small town or even your village. And you live pretty much the same as everyone else in the community, and you work on your project. There are different sectors. The Peace Corps has, for example, an environmental sector, a health sector, a youth development sector, and an agriculture sector. And so your project can really differ in very different ways, depending on where you are. But that said, the Peace Corps kind of has the same goal wherever you go. The goal you think about when you think the Peace Corps is, I'm going to be doing a development project, but another equally important aspect of Peace Corps is sharing culture. So you're sharing American culture, and you're also learning about the culture you're living in so you can bring it back to the United States.
Okay. So what sector were you involved in?
I was in the youth development sector.
Yeah? What did that entail?
Well, I was in Morocco. So in Morocco, we had a partner organization within the country, which was the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And I actually had a youth center, place called Dar Shabab in Arabic, that I would go to kind of as my daily workplace. Not all volunteers have a daily workplace, so depending on your sector, you might actually be, as part of your job, going around from village to village, providing information, pamphlets, et cetera, on healthcare, right? So I was kind of fortunate in that sense, that I did have a place I could go to every day. And if I ever had any issues, I really would go straight to my counterpart who worked in the ministry. So I had kind of a direct line to the Moroccan government's vision for how they wanted youth development to occur in Morocco.
Awesome. What was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part, well, I would say in my Peace Corps town, my favorite part was working with the students. I started off as an English teacher. That was kind of how I got my place in the community. As I'd been there a while, I started to do other projects. Like we plant trees, we had a sports club, we played basketball. It was a lot of fun. And besides the actual work aspect, my favorite part of being in the town was just talking to people, sitting in coffee shops, which is a big cultural phenomenon in Morocco. You go sit there for hours and you talk and you have a coffee, maybe some biscuits, and you get to know your community. Home visits were also a big thing, so I'd go visit families, bring a gift of dates or something, and we'd have dinner. And I also got to travel a good bit. That was another fun part about Peace Corps. So one of the things I think outside of my town that I really enjoyed was doing camps. Mm-hmm. We would do summer camps for kids, one at the beach, which was not bad. So I lived in the desert. I lived really far away from the coast. So I got to travel 10 or 12 hours up to this beach town in the summer. And it was particularly well timed because my real Peace Corps town where I lived for the 2 years was 110 degrees most of the summer. So it was a good time to hit the beach. I also got to go to the mountains. I saw other parts of the country. I really traveled a lot and often on work assignments like doing an English camp.
Yeah. Have you been back to the community that you were stationed in?
I have, and it was one of the most, I think, enthusing parts of my Peace Corps experience actually was not during it, it was when I went back. Because I think sometimes when you're in the midst of the experience, you don't really realize what sort of impact you might be making. And I did have moments when I said, I do tutoring, I do English, but are these students really going to go forward with this? Or are they just going to kind of finish their high school requirements and be done? And I went back to my Peace Corps site, and I heard someone say, Mike. And I didn't really recognize him, but he came up and started speaking to me in English, and I suddenly had this realization that he was a kid who'd been maybe in elementary school at the time, who remembered me and said, I was inspired to take English because you were there. And I thought that was a really, this is like, 8 or 9 years later, and it was really inspiring to see that had happened. I didn't even know that was going to happen.
That's so wonderful. So tell me a little bit about the Peace Corps prep program.
So the Peace Corps Prep Program is a official formal program, an agreement we have between UNCW and the Peace Corps, where UNCW students can take a set of courses and do some career prep experiences, and in turn they get an official certificate from the Peace Corps, which they can include with an application to the Peace Corps to make their application more competitive. In a lot of ways, it's kind of structured like an interdisciplinary minor. It's not, the degree itself is not really, it's not a degree, it's not given through UNCW. It's a certificate from the Peace Corps, but it's very similar to doing a minor and checking off courses. We do have an additional requirement of doing volunteer work that's related to the sector you intend to pursue. You need to take a language course, and I should note on that account that we have, I mean, a lot of these courses are requirements for the Peace Corps Prep Program you've already done as a student at UNCW. For example, you've already had to meet your language requirement, so you've got that. When you finish it out, we will do what's called the exit checklist. I actually have it with me here. It's just one sheet of paper, and we go through, we say, you got this course that kind of fulfills this perspective. This one is a intercultural competency course.
Mm-hmm.
You have gone through the resume review with the Career Center, and you've done your interview prep with me.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, you'll submit it, and Peace Corps will send you a certificate of completion, which of course will be for your records. You can also, even if you don't do the Peace Corps, use it when you apply for other jobs. So it's a kind of just a piece of a certificate that says you have really accomplished something in your learning, and you've engaged the international sphere, intercultural experiences, and you are ready to go serve the world with the Peace Corps or with another organization.
So if people are maybe thinking about going into the Peace Corps and they're still a student, do they really need a certification? Or, you know, is the Peace Corps even really that competitive? Like, will this really give them a boost up?
It's hard to say exactly how competitive it is, but it is a long application process that does have a lot of requirements, and there's a pretty high expectation. And so having a boost makes a difference. The certificate itself is not a guarantee, but it's a I think it really shows that you're serious about it, you prepared yourself, you've taken coursework, you've done volunteer work, you know what you're going into. A 2-year assignment in a country you've never been to in most cases is not something to be taken lightly. It's a big investment in you because the United States government is paying for your training for 3 months. They're paying for your, so essentially what you need to live there comfortably. Not at American levels of comfort, but at least the local levels of comfort for 2 years. And you're representing the country, and I think it's also important that you're not just there to have a vacation, but you're also going to be, for most of the people you meet, one of the only Americans they've ever talked to, especially in their own language, right? And so Peace Corps wants to be confident that you have that you prepared yourself, and I think the certificate shows them that you've done that.
So how can students get involved with this program?
Pretty easy. Just go to uncw.edu/Peace Corps. And there you'll find a basic description of the program, and you'll find the application form, which is very simple. It's pretty much just showing what you have so far towards the requirements. And if you don't want to do that right away, you can just email me. My email is mlturner@uncw.edu.
Awesome. So you mentioned a little bit about how you will likely be the only American who's talking to them in their own language.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to hear that and they're going to go, well, I don't speak another language. How significant is language in the Peace Corps? How can they still be involved if they don't speak another language?
Well, I would say language is absolutely essential for your assignment in the Peace Corps. You're going to be living somewhere for 2 years. Often you won't have anyone who speaks English natively near you. You'll probably have a counterpart who knows some. But that said, in many situations you have to rely on your own language skills to interact with your community. And the faster you can get them up, the faster you can really integrate into your community and have friends, really have a normal life, right? It sounds a little daunting, but the good news is that every single Peace Corps program has a 3-month training period beforehand. And it's not 3 months of taking a class every day or so. It's 3 months of intensive language and cultural training. And they go hand in hand, right? So every single day you will be using the language in practical situations. So I know many people who went to Morocco, for example, not knowing a single word of Arabic. Within 3 months, they were able to have basic conversations with their host families, do their work pretty effectively, And by the time they finished out 2 years later, I mean, they were very advanced in the language, right? So it is a process of growth. Not to say that it's not something that you have to work for, but it's always very rewarding, because maybe in a way that in the United States, when we learn a language in a classroom, that can sometimes be our only exposure, right? It feels like everything's kind of boxed in. So I have to, either I'm studying for this class or I'm in the class. But when you're in the Peace Corps, the language you're learning, it's the second you learn a word, you can go out and use it, right? And people will make you use it. So it's a very different experience than a lot of people have had, and it's really fun.
So what if your assignment is in a more remote area where they don't speak like a commonly taught language, such as like Arabic or Spanish or whatever? Like, does the Peace Corps prepare you for that, or are you just winging it?
Absolutely. Peace Corps will prepare you for languages that you cannot learn anywhere in the United States. And this is one of the reasons Peace Corps has such a great reputation abroad, because there are speakers of languages for whom, of course, their language is part of their identity. It's something that's really important to them. And Peace Corps volunteers will often be the only Americans or even foreigners in general who have ever shown an interest in that. So they're very appreciative. I can speak from my own experience in Morocco. There's multiple languages, but there's two main native languages. There's Arabic, and there are the Berber languages, which are also spoken throughout North Africa. And I lived in a village that was primarily Berber speaking, and even though I was trained in Arabic, I started learning Berber. I never really got to the same level of proficiency, but people were way more appreciative of me doing that because it was something they'd never seen before. Like, there's Americans who speak Arabic who learn it here. You can take it with me, actually. But that said, I mean, there's no program in the entire United States where you can learn a Berber language. But if you go to Peace Corps, you can do it. That's your program.
So I know oftentimes when people are thinking about going to the Peace Corps, a major concern that they have is that they're going to be by themselves in the middle of a foreign country, and they're just fending for themselves and trying to figure out what's going on. Is that the case?
Not the case at all. Peace Corps does a good job of setting you up with a counterpart from the start. So you have someone who is going to be working with you. You usually have a host family who's committed to at least, you probably won't live with them the whole time, but they'll take you in for a couple months maybe, and you'll have them as a resource throughout your time there. You can always go back and say, hey, I don't really know how to buy a mattress because I need one for my new house. And they can say, here's the right place to go, here's the right price to pay, right? So you'll have that sort of support. It's kind of built in. And by showing your commitment to the community, those people will introduce you to more people, and you'll quickly make friends. I think a lot of Americans will find that when you're overseas in a new community, it's actually easier to meet people. First of all, because you're different, right? So people are interested in you. They want to be your friend. And also just socially, there are different social mores where it's okay to go up and just be like, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? In a way that you might not do, at the grocery store in the United States. And that, in a lot of ways, can let you kind of have an into the community right away.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining in on us today. Before you leave, we would like to play a brand new game called What the Skrit. What the Skrit is a simple game. This monitor will show a word written in a specific language. Dr. Turner, you need to guess whether it is a real or fictional language, like Pig Latin, for example. Regardless if it is a real or fictional language, you can receive a bonus point. All the languages will translate in English to the exact same word at the end. Another bonus point can be won if you can guess what that word is at the end of the game. Are you ready?
It sounds hard, but I'll try.
I think you've got this.
Okay.
All right. So we have the first word. Is it a real or fictional language?
This is a real language.
What is that language?
It's Arabic.
It's actually Urdu.
Okay.
All right, next one. Real or fictional?
That looks like an Indian script, but I'm not sure which one. It might be Hindi. But I guess it might be the Devanagari script. I'm not sure.
It's Hindi.
Is it Hindi?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Cool.
See, I told you you were going to do great at this. All right, the next one. Is it real or fake?
It looks real. I'm not sure which language it is. I think it might be like a Romance language from maybe like, not French, but like Catalan or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. It's actually Klingon.
It's Klingon. Okay.
Yeah, so some of these words may use English letters, but they're not English.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Okay.
Real or fake?
Real script.
Yep.
And beyond that, I can't read it.
Do you have a guess what it might
It
be?
looks like it looks like Chinese script, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. It's actually Mandarin.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah.
Very good. All right. The very next one. Real or
Oh,
fake?
that's Elvish for sure.
All right, next one. Real or fake?
Well, it looks kind of like the previous Chinese one, but it's probably fake to trick me. So I'm going to say it's real, though, just because I'm not sure. I have no clue. I'm going to say I think it's real.
If it is real, which language do you think it is?
Japanese.
It is Japanese. Very nice. All right. Real or fake?
I'm going to say fake.
Okay. If it's fake, what language do you think it is?
If it's fake, it's not a language, right?
Like it.
Actually, maybe, I don't know. It could be real, but I just have no clue because it's a short word. It could be like any number of languages.
That's true. So it's actually Croatian.
It's Croatian, okay.
All right. Next one. Real or fake?
Fake.
Fake?
Yeah.
Do you have a guess?
Nope.
Finish.
Finish, okay.
It's actually real.
Would not have guessed that, no.
Yeah. All right. Next one. It's kind of small.
It looks like it says pin. Or pen, I don't know. I'm going to say it's real because you probably took that from somewhere, but I don't know.
It's actually fake. It's doctor handwriting.
Okay.
So it's still English, but
It's English. It's English.
It's English, but it's written in doctor's handwriting. It's a different script.
That's pretty clear. So what does it say? Penicillin, maybe? It's like the first half.
Well, that's what you got to figure out.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, next one. Real or fake?
Ready. Real.
Real?
Yeah.
What language?
No clue.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, what allows a VR sound, a vrat sound? I don't know. No clue.
Dutch.
Okay.
Dutch. All right,
Makes
that
sense.
is all of them. Do you have a guess what the word was?
Okay, I'm thinking it could either mean prince or safety, but I'm not sure, or it could mean neither of those. Or either of my guesses close.
It means peace.
Peace.
Peace, because
Okay.
we got the Peace Corps.
Well, I think safety. Oh, I should know that. I'll tell you why. Okay, maybe I can say why I know this. I said safety, and that kind of is close to peace, right?
Yeah, that works.
That makes some sense. Well, because the Urdu, I said it's Arabic, and you said no, it's not.
Yeah.
But the word amen, which was the one you said for Urdu, is actually from Arabic.
Oh.
So it could, and it can mean both safety and peace.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So amazing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
playing.
so much. That was fun.
Next up, we have Bennett Hare with Wave Watch.
Dr. Turner's skills are impressive and his story is just as incredible. If you want to see more of Dr. Turner, he teaches Arabic and International Studies at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. The Peace Corps Prep program is always looking for new people to get involved. If you or a friend are interested or have questions, please email Dr. Turner at turnerml@uncw.edu. If you are interested in applying to the Peace Corps, you can go to www.peacecorps.gov to find your local recruiter and how to get started with your application. There are also some great volunteer opportunities through UNCW. The Campus Life Office of Student Community Engagement Organization invites you to volunteer with the Diaper Bank on Wednesday, April 20th at 12 p.m. Those who are interested can RSVP on Wavelink. They are also partnering with UNCW Sustainability Peer Educators on Friday, April 22nd at 11 a.m. for a campus cleanup. If you are interested in further volunteer opportunities, follow the link below to find more options through UNCW. Back to you, Jack.
Thanks, Bennett. That's all for us today. We hope you enjoyed the honesty from Dr. Turner on how he got to the core of his story. We'll see you again next week. Peace out.
Adam's got it.
over.